I was witnessing my wife literally going into a coma. We went on holiday to Spain in 2013. We were having breakfast on the terrace, and we decided what we were going to do that day. And Pilar said, but before we do that, I've just got to go back to bed. I'm so tired. I left her for a little bit and then went through to see how she was, whether she was sleeping or not. And it looked as if her body was shutting down. The neurosurgeon said, we're going to have to operate because she has a growth. And you're suddenly faced with, in the space of 2 or 3 hours, from being a family that's looking forward to the days ahead of your holiday, to being in a situation where, the fulcrum of the family was, at death's door. They excised as much of the tumour as they could. I didn't realise that there are a number of different brain tumours that you can suffer from, and they're graded in terms of their severity. And Pilar, she had a grade 4, which is the highest. It's the most aggressive, it regenerates, and the prognosis is very poor. 5 months on from the original collapse that she suffered, we saw the consultant, and he said, look, your wife has very little time left. I asked him, is there any reason, any cause that we can that will enable us to come to terms with our loss? And he said, look, by the very nature of this illness, it is entirely random, and it's just sheer bad luck. From the time she collapsed in that way that I described to the time of her death, barely 6 months had passed. Brain cancer is the poor relation, it seems, of cancer research generally, and starved of funding. Maybe it's because the prognosis traditionally is very poor, but it's a kind of a vicious circle. Yeah, the prognosis is poor because not enough research is going into it. My interest was drawn to Professor Short's research into viruses. I was struck by what Professor Short said, that in her lifetime of combating cancer, this is the closest she's got to a scientific breakthrough, and to be on the cusp of that in the way that she appears to be is truly exciting.